Sure.
Okay, I guess we can, I'll just let you take it away. Let's just.
Sure. I mean, look, I wanted to take this as flexibly as possible. And I want to maybe get it, since we're only 4 people anyways, maybe do a very quick round of introductions as to sort of what your guys' background is and what you guys are expecting. And then based on that, I want to take a little bit more flexible in terms of what we talk about. Obviously, I definitely want to give you a glimpse of our platform and also the upcoming trading competition that we have going on, which is sort of like what we got, the topic that we got to talking about. So maybe just real brief from you guys' point of view, like what's your background, maybe also a little bit about the society you guys have, how many people usually, what's the background, what's the general gist, like how many, I guess there's also a couple of people on YouTube watching this later on, so yeah, just give me a little intro.
Okay, so I can talk about the club. So there's usually like in our in-person meetings, there could be like anywhere from like 5 to 15. It fluctuates a lot based on the time of year. Like sometimes there's
Sure,
finals,
yeah.
so there's less people.
Yeah.
So our club just basically does a bunch of like workshops and like talks about like a career in quantitative finance, talks about like various strategies. So yesterday we actually had a meeting where someone was like going over like deep learning with mean variance optimization. And so that's just basically our club, just a bunch of workshops, and then we try to get some career advice and get people to come to the club and speak for us. And for my background, I've entered at Quant Connect, which is is very similar to Trality. It's like a online algo trading platform. That one was like originally more like stocks and mainly stocks, but they also support for forex and crypto and options. And then after that, I interned at this crypto trading hedge fund called Trade Terminal. It's pretty small. I'm not sure many people have heard of it, but yeah, that was fun. It was more software engineering work. And after that, I entered at Cisco, which is totally unknown.
Okay. Cool, got it. And then you are sort of heading the club at the moment, or is there any like, did you found it, or I guess it's been existing for a while, or?
I it was founded in 2018, but
Yeah.
or like 2017. That was before I even came to University of Washington. So it was
Yeah.
founded before I even got here, but my sophomore year, I took over the club after the officers left, and they just gave the club for me to manage.
Got it. Cool. Yeah. How about the others? Just real brief, what's your background, and maybe like also, I mean, so our platform is centered around a Python editor. It'd be interesting to know. I mean, I assume that most of you guys are proficient in Python, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Also C++ actually. So.
Oh, very good. Nice.
And yeah, so I'm Sangdo Kim, and I'm junior of this computer science at UW. And yeah, so actually I started to get interested in trading and the problem solving since I was a middle school kid. So actually I like traded like crypto 2 years ago, and I stopped traded because crypto market is like 24/7 and I traded by myself. So there was lots of stress from the trade. So actually, yeah, so I made like 1 million from $2,000. So I think that was pretty successive. And yeah, so I found some like logical background that I support my trading, like including the mind game thing, because based on the game theory, I expect you to think and you expect me to think. That kind of stuff is like, so actually I think we need to like control the value about the mind games, like a target number or something like that, because there is like also like I'm trying to like find some logic about like number symbol number or something. That's what we call in the trading that I learned. But yeah, so symbol number thing. But yeah, so I figured out that my logic is quite straightforward, and that's why I want to like jump into this industry, and I just want to test my talent. So yes.
Got it. Nice. Cool. Sounds good. How about the others?
Oh, yeah, I can give a little background. Yeah, my name is Eugene. Was studied at UW for computer science, but just graduated recently. Currently I'm working on my own financial platform, and then it's been a while working for 1 to 2 years now. And but it's not just focused on crypto, but most of like financial assets, and it's focusing on the charting and then technical analysis aspect, and then it's called with the app. If you guys interested, it should be online. Yep, and yeah, I'm just like interested about finance and also computing stuff. Yep.
Cool. Nice. Sounds good. And
Alex?
then Alex.
Yeah, so I'm a master's student in the PMP program for electrical engineering. I actually work at Blue Origin as an electrical engineer. But we're doing a little bit of research on like indoor localization using some neural networks and deep learning, and just interested in learning a little bit more about trading and how I could use some of those same algorithms for some trading.
Got it. Cool. So that sounds, I mean, super interesting. Super glad to talk to you guys. So my name is Moritz. I'm it's a German name. I'm from Austria, Vienna, Austria, and we co-founded, me and my co-founder, a company called Trality, which is essentially a marketplace for crypto trading bots. And I did bring I did bring a pitch presentation. I don't want to bore you guys, but I think it might make sense maybe to just go through like the first 2 or 3 slides to sort of give you an intro as to how we got started with that idea, and then we can maybe quickly jump into our platform just to give you a quick rundown over what you can do there. There is actually a ton of also educational material that we provide apart from our docs, and but also some help articles, blog articles, and so on. And then I think what could be very interesting for you guys is we run actually as we speak, we run a trading competition where the submission period is another 3 weeks, so until the end of November. And we have cash prizes of up to 5K for the winner. And we have actually what I think is a very cool prize. We call it the Trality Guild, and it's essentially a small club of creators that we curate who we think have special potential for our platform. And we actually pay them a yearly salary essentially to create bots on our platform, but they're completely freelance. So you would get 60K yearly salary basically to do what you do best and concentrate on what you do best, namely creating cool bots in our Python editor. So I think that's a pretty cool prize as well. I'll yeah, as I said, let me real quickly share my screen here and walk you through the first couple of slides. So the reason why we founded Trality, so I have to say, I have a business background. So I used to be employed at Deutsche Bank in investment banking. I then went back to university to actually pursue an academic career. I wanted to do a PhD. And that's when I got into trading myself, because sort of what I was trying to do back at the time, obviously I went back from a career in banking to a career in academia, and there's a little bit of a wage difference that you have to balance when you go back to doing a PhD, right? You earn much less. So my idea was to sort of balance off that wage balance difference by trading actively. And I was focusing heavily on crypto. That was like 2017 when the last bull run sort of got into full swing and everybody started to get into crypto. And what I realized very soon is that if you actively try to beat the market as a private person, you're bound to lose at some point, right? Either a lot of sleep, or worst case, also a lot of money, simply because you're fighting against windmills, you're fighting against the big guys. And I sort of did a little research, and what I found out is that as a private investor, you're essentially stuck between two outdated modes of trading. On the one hand, you have the chance of putting your money into some kind of index-based investing, either an ETF or an index fund, or even a robo-advisor. But that's quite an inflexible and uninnovative way to make money, and especially in a market like that we have right now, you're bound to actually also lose a lot of money. And on the other hand, you have this sort of manual active trading that I was doing, and there's actually statistics that show that up to 80, sometimes over 80% of private traders lose their money when they try to time the market. So none of these options strikes me as really, according to our time that we live in. And that's especially because we're living in a time where I don't know if you can see this, let me just move this over here. In the professional world, over 90% of trading is completely automated based on algorithms. So, they're reaping the profits of the automation potential that we have out there, but the private people are basically losing out. So we thought, okay, we got to bring automation to the private investor in order to solve these problems that I just described. And the way we want to do this is by offering a slick and intuitive marketplace platform where essentially everyone, not just pros like you that know how to code C++ or anything like that, but people like me, my friends, my mom even, could go on, ideally on their mobile, and they have an overview over the best automations, and with just a few clicks they can follow these automations and profit from them. And the important thing is that when I talk about automation, I don't talk about a simple robo advisor that we see many times out there that basically rebalance your portfolio every once in a while. But I think that automation is out there to make very complex things accessible to people like me, my mom, and everyone else, like driving, automated driving, or complex things in your house, automated houses, smart homes, right? So what I'm envisioning is actually a fully automated portfolio, which might have some crypto day trading on the one hand, some margin trading, maybe to balance to hedge some of your risk, maybe some more old school index-based or equity-based investing on the other hand. And all of this can usually only be managed either by an armada of highly trained and highly paid fund managers or a really good automation. And that's what we want to give to the private investors. Last slide I want to highlight is what is our USP, because there is a couple of platforms out there that do offer this type of automation to investors. But we think that the way to really do this is to nail the balance between the investors, and those are people like I just described, me, my mom, my friends, and then who we call creators. And creators are actually people like you, most likely. People that know how to build powerful automations and whom we give the best tools to do so. So this is centered around our world's first actually in-browser Python editor for trading bots, ready with debugger, end-to-end encryption, machine learning tools to improve profitability, all that good stuff that our creators love. We also give them a lot of data to test their bots and improve them. We even give them a virtual environment to run the bots before they actually go live. And then they can put them to live trading. And once we see that a bot is performing well, we give them an option to put them on the marketplace and rent them out to a huge number of investors who would pay for those algorithms to rent them on a monthly basis and give a side income to these creators. But importantly, and that's the last point here, the algorithm IP for these bots always remains with the creator. So we can't even see your algo. In fact, it's end-to-end encrypted, and your trading ideas are completely safe with you. And then on the other hand, as I said, we have this investor that gets access to these strategies that would otherwise be completely reserved for the professionals. And two things are super important here. A, unrivaled accessibility. So, making it as easy, as accessible as possible for them to access them. No need for like third-party exchange accounts, brokerage accounts. Everything happens on our platform. And B, a strong focus on curation and quality control. So really making sure only the best bots are on that platform for them to obviously have the largest profits. We also have a third sort of pillar of our strategy, and that's ML. We have a dedicated research team in our team that's purely focused on developing tools that improve the profitability of the bots, both for the creators and the investors, through machine learning, through individual reinforcement learning algorithms that we use for the strategies themselves, but also risk management through smart allocation, rebalancing, regime detection, investment recommendations for the investors. So a bunch of tools that make their lives easier, essentially. Yeah, we're a small team of 18 people. Me, my co-founder, who's actually a technical person. We have a bunch of quants working on our team, obviously, head of products, head of growth. That goes to say that we're raising a round currently, probably closing that one next spring, and after that looking to expand that team also heavily towards probably 30-35 people. And you guys are probably very much in the target group of where we want to expand our team. So if that is something that could be of interest to you, working a small team, working a small startup, obviously getting equity for it, that should be something that we can talk about in the future as well. So yeah, I don't want to bother you anymore with the presentation part of it. That's sort of where we come from. That's what we want to build, and maybe it's a good idea to really briefly show you what the platform actually looks like. Let me just quickly log into a demo account that we have, and then I would say we can just dive into a discussion. Just 1 second, I gotta log into the VPN first in order to open that account. All right, so that's our dashboard. Obviously, lots of bots running there. Yeah, a lot of red nowadays, as you can imagine. These are long-only bots. We do have that's in a different account, actually. We do have some shorting bots and market neutral bots as well. Let me check if there's any on this one here. This one could be one, but it's not running at the moment. So I'll walk you through first. So this is essentially what you see when you log into our platform. This is the dashboard. Usually, if you log in for the first time, there's not going to be any bots running. These are all trading bots that are running currently on this account. So this one has been running for 5 months. These ones, well, basically this one has been run. These two have been running for 7 months. When you first log into our platform, you, as a creator, as guys like you have the heart and soul of our platform, which we call the creator tools, and that's where you can create new bots. Essentially, let me move this over here. Essentially, what you can do is, this is a list of bots that I've obviously created on this account, but you start off by creating a new bot, and then you have two bot types, as we call them. One is code bots. This is basically what will be very much applicable to you and the core users of our platform. That's our Python editor. We do have a sort of low code, no code version as well. We don't really support it that much. It's essentially a way that we thought at the beginning would be good to get users onto our platform and let them evolve towards Python coders. But this hasn't really worked out the way we planned. So it's essentially a way to plug together rules, trading rules based on Boolean logic. But we found that it is a bit too simplistic actually. And the really good bots actually come all from our code editor, which I mean, kind of goes without saying, right? So example. So if you create a bot, you obviously create it on an exchange. So far, only crypto exchanges. We're only active in crypto at the moment. We will go into traditional assets as well. Even if it's a virtual bot that only does paper trading, you have to select an account on an exchange account so that the assets are specific to that exchange. So let's just select Binance. You have to select a quoted asset against which to trade. Obviously, let's select USDT and create the bot. And then you land in the sort of heart and soul of Trality. We have a bunch of templates that you can sort of use to get started. Very, very simple TA-based strategies. Usually we also have a couple of margin bots that can go long and short. Essentially what the users usually do is they start off with one of these templates, but then obviously the good creators, they very quickly evolve from that and go way beyond this. But this is basically it. This is the heart and soul. The cool thing is that all of this runs in the user's browser. So it compiles actually our trading engine, which is coded in C++, has the Python interpreter here that is being compiled via WebAssembly. So that's a pretty cool technology that we're using here in order to provide all of this in the user's front end. Why? A, because it's quicker. B, because we don't need to communicate with the backend the whole time, which is obviously a security and data vulnerability potential. So once you have this backtester loaded, this code editor, everything that you do here runs solely in your front end and can't be seen by us or anyone else. Then usually the people go about coding. I don't think it makes sense for me to go into the Python API now, but obviously we have our documentation, docs.trality.com, where everything is very clearly outlined with a bunch of code examples. We have the introduction for our code editor and our core concepts, as well as the detailed API documentation. Then what the people do is essentially they start coding, and then they move over to the right side of the screen, which is our backtester. And the backtester has either a custom time frame that you can give it, or scenarios, and you can test it on historical data, what you've been coding here on the left hand. And the way that usually works is that the first time it takes a little bit longer, but then once the data is loaded from the backend, it actually goes quicker in the future. And then it becomes a sort of iterative process, right? Test, improve. And you can even see your previous results and your previous back tests here. You can do versioning, and you can see what works. We even have something which I think is an incredibly strong feature, which we call our optimizer, where you can define indicator parameters and run through a number of iterations in order to optimize each individual indicator parameter in order to get the best possible results of your bot. So that's a really cool feature that we offer as well. I mean, this is obviously now complete garbage. Total returns -17. I mean, the benchmark has been going down quite significantly as well, but we're still not beating the benchmark. But yeah, that's a super simple technical analysis based strategy. Usually people build much more complex statistical models. We're not yet able to offer machine learning in that Python API. The main blocker there is that some of the bigger machine learning libraries currently still take on too much memory of in that browser-based approach. So the executable would be simply too large. But we're working on that, and that's something that's a feature that we're gonna for sure present in the next coming months. Once you're happy with what you're seeing, then you just simply click on Start Bot, and you first create a version so that you're all up to date, and then you can essentially deploy that bot onto our cloud. And the cool thing is that even in our free version, you would be able to run a bot in live trading. Usually what I always say to people is, when you're new to the platform and when you create a new bot, always proceed with virtual trading first. So essentially paper trading for a couple of weeks, seeing how the bot performs, and then you go with live trading. And live trading is essentially you connecting your crypto exchange to Trality, and then us sending orders to that exchange via the exchange API. Completely safe. We don't have any way to withdraw the user's funds or anything. Trading happens only on your on your exchange account. So if you guys are based in the US, that would probably be Coinbase Pro or Binance US or FTX US, if they still exist in the future. And then you could do live or virtual trading. If you weren't as sophisticated coders as you are, then the rule builder could be an option. Or if you really don't know anything, like my friends, my mom, whomever, they go into a marketplace and they choose a bunch of preset bots that we provide to them. These could be index trading bots, or it could be bots that are created by you guys in order for you guys to make a side income by renting these bots onto our platform and out to our users. And then 70% of the income that is generated from these bots would go directly to you, and we pay it out to you. So it's a nice way to make a side income, especially as a student or similar. So I would recommend you guys highly to visit our platform, check it out. It's completely for free. The only time you have to pay on our platform is if you use higher intervals than daily candles. Then the paid plan comes into play, simply because we also need to obviously pay for the data. Last thing I want to show you is the competition. And as you can see, there's currently a trading competition running. The submission period only just started, so far there's 8 participants. And the way this works is that basically you can register for the competition, and then you can submit a bot that you previously created. And once the submission period ends at the end of November, the trading period starts. And then the bot will run in a virtual environment for 45 days, so until mid-January. And it will trade, obviously, in a virtual environment, and the best bots at the end get the prize. And we have a prize pool of over 60,000 euros, as I said at the beginning, and including cash prizes. So, only 8 participants so far. If you want to participate, chances are high that someone from UW will actually take home the cash prize. That's a cool opportunity, I think. So that's pretty much everything I want to show you. So I'm going to stop the screen sharing here, and gonna take your questions.
Cool. Just kind of, oh, by the way, it's a really cool stuff. Just kind of wonder, for the competition, you say after end of November it will have a 40-day period to run in the bot, but at the end, like, are they compare the performance? I mean, the final return, or compare what metrics?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Now, so we thought long and hard about this, and especially due to the fact that we're actually so this competition is centered around the margin trading theme. So the way we did this is basically we defined the competition metrics, which is somewhat similar to a Kalmar ratio. So essentially the return is divided by the bot's maximum drawdown.
I see.
And you get sort of a risk adjusted a competition metric.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I see. So it's also including a risk, kind of like a PE ratio. Those not sorry, kind of like a Sharpe ratio, those kind of stuff.
Exactly, yeah.
Cool.
I'm gonna post in the chat here, and you guys can also forward this to the others, a link to our competition landing page. You can find all the information on there regarding the dates, deadlines, and also regarding the competition metric and so on.
So you mentioned like your the bots use like machine learning, so like the in-house proprietary bots, right? The ones that you guys developed in-house, those use machine learning. Is that correct?
No, so not what I did mention is that we have a dedicated team working on those. I have to say that they're not yet running. Yeah, so this is what we call sort of our R&D efforts at the moment. And we're hoping to launch the first ones mid next year.
So like,
but as you can imagine, tricky business.
yeah, because like the main issue is like applying machine learning with that I found with applying machine learning with trading is that the like financial time series, the behavior is always constantly changing. So that by the time you're done like training on past data, the future market conditions, the future market behavior just acts differently. So it's interesting that you guys are using ML. Like, how do you guys like address this fact that like markets constantly changing?
Well, two things. I mean, one is I'm probably not the best person to talk to because we have dedicated, quants and physicists talking about this actually in our team, and I'm the business person. One of the things that we're currently researching a lot is how we can apply reinforcement learning in that area. And while arguably a lot harder, that there seems to be some initial promise in that area. And then the other thing is, and that's something that we're already now providing to our users, and where we do see a lot of really good results, is sort of small incremental proprietary tools that we can use based on machine learning. So, for example, one of the optimizers that we provide is based on ML. We have a volatility prediction that is based on ML that we can insert in the Python API and use in the bots. Another one is what we call early candle execution. So essentially, if you're just, usually candles are always posted at the minute mark in crypto. So if you're just 1 second quicker in predicting 1 second before the next candle is published, whether that candle is going to go up or down with a certain confidence interval, you already have an advantage. So that's something we're also doing. So there's a couple of small things that you can do that are super promising. But I think with regards to fully fledged ML based bots, you're absolutely right. I think we're still a long way to go. Good to go.
And I have actually two questions from my trading experience. The first thing is actually what I think as a private trader, the perks of being private trader is actually I don't have to trade. I don't have to hold a position at all the time. But the thing is, so actually, I dreamed about making a trading bot also, and my idea was about thinking about what time frame we were gonna apply, and like actually, can we switch to bot like long bot and like short bot or something like somewhat like there is a factory bot or something, so it can like decides should we trade or not, something like that. but the thing is like, do you all guys also considering about that kind of things, like not only just looking at the indicators and like, because like I don't think that's like all about it, because like I think the current price anyway reflects the current like price, like the buyers and like sellers, you know, they sell it and they buy it. That's why the current prices make it. So I just want to like ask you about like, do you guys have any idea, like any like idea to evolve in like that kind of way, like the platform?
Oh, 100. Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, look, we're a young, small company, so you have to take it one step at a time. And I think
Yeah.
what we're building right now is very much a first version, and the goal is to raise some funds, as I said, at the beginning of next year, and then going way beyond that. So a couple of things. One concept which we're actively pursuing is this sort of concept of meta bots, where essentially the intelligence of all the bots on our platform could be helpful for individual bots. So that's one. And then the other one, for example, is this regime detection that I mentioned, which based on our ML research tells us, are we in a bull or a bear or a sideways market, for example. I completely agree with you that technical indicators are the very, very first step. That's kindergarten. Then the next step comes statistics. Then the next step comes market data. Then the next step might be sentiment data, although I'm a little bit skeptical of that one. Then the next step is machine learning. So there's a lot of things to build on top of that.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so yeah, I just want to curious about like, do you have any like consider about those? But yeah, actually that's true.
For sure. 100%. Cool. All right. Well, listen, what I would suggest is I'll drop my email also in the chat. And as I said, I also dropped the competition link. If this is something, I mean, I'm not forcing anyone. Maybe it's cool. Maybe you guys are interested. More than happy to answer any questions. Also, if you have via email, completely for free. We're definitely not, I mean, students are within our target group of creators. We don't want to sell this product to you. Ultimately, for the creators, this is going to be completely for free, right? We're only targeting these type of investors, as I said, the ones like my mom and that want to follow your bots. So if this could be interesting, just check it out. It was a pleasure to talk to you guys, and yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time.
No, absolutely.
If you ever have something like, if you like say you're like increasing the size of your team as you mentioned before, or a new trading competition pops up, or just like you guys have like a workshop, any event or anything, just feel free to like message me on LinkedIn or email me. I sent you like an email, so you should have my email address. We also have do you use Discord?
Yeah.
So if this is totally optional, but we have like a Discord channel where I've been like posting some links, like links to the competition. So if you want to like
cool,
if you want to join that, totally up to you. But it'd be probably good place to talk to like students. But thank you so much for your time. I'm gonna post this video up to our YouTube channel later, and thanks to everyone who came today. Hopefully this was informative. Remember, I'm gonna post it in the description, but it's just gonna be trality.com/competition to participate in the competition. So make sure you guys check that out, and that will be then the meeting. Okay, I'm just gonna end the meeting. Okay, bye guys.
Cool, perfect. Thank you. All right. Cheers.
Thank you.